Out for a Kill is the movie where Steven Seagal finally gave his fans what they wanted the most: a half-assed cash grab with almost zero effort. It starts off with a crime scene in Bulgaria where the first ones there are a Hong Kong cop and her partner, an American DEA agent. Wondering why a DEA agent and a Hong Kong cop are partners and investigating a gang shooting in Bulgaria? Then you've already put more thought into this movie than Seagal did. We learn that Seagal is a professor at Yale and is receiving an award for archaeology. I've seen him fight aliens. I've seen him fight vampires. I've even heard him say this:
I'm gonna take you to the bank, Senator Trent. To the blood bank.
But him being a professor at Yale is somehow the most ridiculous thing yet. Anyways, he flies out to China with a pilot named Crash.
They call me Crash because I never have.
And while out there digging up treasure or some he finds his artifacts are secretly being filled with drugs. As dumb as that is, it's still not as dumb as Seagal being a Yale professor. I just cannot get over that. That is complete bullshit. So somehow these smugglers realize Seagal is onto them and they begin chasing him. They shoot at his vehicle with really fake looking bullets and manage to kill his assistant. With his back against the wall and no other options, Seagal does the most insane maneuver of just slightly turning left and completely loses them. Seagal makes it to the border and is surrounded by police, including these two who just happen to be there. He has what I feel would be a more emotional moment if they didn't forget to turn off the green screen. He's blamed for the drugs that were in the artifacts and is now in a Chinese jail. We then meet his cellmate,
The name's King.
who the movie cares about as much as we do, and just fades to black on him mid-sentence.
Crossing the Kazakhstan border. Trafficking some weed. Some rag.
Since we all know that China takes orders from America's DEA, they release Seagal so he can lead them to the head Chinese smuggler. I don't know how long he was locked up, but something definitely happened there.
Don't forget about me, Burns!
Seagal then goes back home to New York and pays his respects to his dead assistant when there's an explosion and he's attacked by two monks. Why either of these things happened is never explained, and Seagal doesn't think anything of it. I guess that's all just normal shit in the life of a Yale professor. Later that night, he is again attacked while at dinner with his wife. After he kills them all, guess who's first on scene?
Hey, Tommy, you know what I think?
These guys are fucking everywhere. Then, as if his day hasn't gone bad enough, Seagal's house explodes with his wife inside. Mondays, am I right? Seagal gets his dead assistant's father's
Brother's, nephew's, cousin's former roommate.
blessing to go on a murder rampage. So now it's on. First thing he does is take flying lessons from Crash,
They call me Crash because I never have.
who is somehow involved with everything. At no point is his involvement ever explained or how Seagal knows about it. And then, the stupidest fucking thing you will ever see. Somehow, these two can see the little Cessna plane they're in, knows Seagal's in it,
I'm really starting to like this guy.
and exactly what's happening inside.
Me too.
It's so insulting that you almost don't even notice how terrible of a green screen effect it is. Almost. Seagal then goes to a barber shop that Crash
They call me Crash because I never have.
told him about, which is where we get the most ridiculous and lazy fight scenes of all time, where Seagal is sitting down for half of it. His opponent is some sort of monkey man who can fly. It makes no sense, and nobody else in the movie has superpowers. After asking him a question,
Where's Tangini, the bird, the man who killed my wife?
Seagal does the most Seagal thing possible and chokes him out so he can't answer. So Seagal blames the Hong Kong cop for his wife dying,
You cost me the life of my wife.
which seems like a stretch since all she did was get him out of jail in China. He then just shows up at a mahjong parlor that has never been mentioned by anyone and starts beating everyone's ass. Only one person has enough sense to leave, who the quick and nimble Seagal chases down before they have this really stupid exchange.
Distant waters cannot quench your thirst than to curse the darkness.
Now I have you.
I guarantee you, Seagal thought that was deep and would blow people's minds. He then ties him up and sends him to safety? Seriously, what the f was that? We then get the first in what would become a Seagal tradition, a flailing arm fight scene, where they just slap each other's arms and play it sped up to make you think they're actually doing something. I have no idea what Seagal does that makes this guy fly out the window. He then just picks up a random book, flips through some pages, and knows where to go next. The writing in this movie was top notch. So these guys, they're supposed to be laundering money at a laundromat, and I don't know if that's supposed to be a joke or if he really thinks that's what laundering money means. Now we're back in Bulgaria at the same club from the beginning of the movie. Somehow, they're back up and running shortly after everyone inside was brutally slaughtered. Obviously, these guys are also there. So the cop actually does something while her partner gets beaten and kidnapped. Luckily, Seagal just happens to be walking by at that exact time, and he saves the day. Again, incredible writing. It's now the next day, and they're in a Mexican standoff, which the DEA agent and cop are terrible at, as they just stand there while he gets shot. But wouldn't you know it, Seagal just happens to be walking by again. You know what? F it. It's my fault for expecting anything better. He then gets lost and wanders into the headquarters of the drug kingpin. It turns out He used Seagal to eliminate the other crime bosses so he could keep all the money for himself.
Knowing that I would cut them down so that you'd have no one to share in your fortune.
It's insane that he thought a Yale professor, that's so fucking stupid, of archaeology would be able to do all this, but I guess the joke's on us because it worked. So he burns down his own building and just walks out. Seagal grabs a sword that's right next to him for some reason and throws it through a window, which decapitates the Kingpin. Compared to all the other dumb shit we've seen so far, that doesn't even register. Now that that's all done, Seagal can finally have a funeral for his wife. And apparently, he's banging the Hong Kong cop lady and did the classy thing and invited her as a date to his wife's funeral. Seagal, you are the shittiest person I have ever seen.
Thank you so much.